Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I welcome you all to today's class. Today, we are going to start the Nectar of Devotion. So, today will be the first class of Nectar of Devotion. Earlier, we have finished the two books in level 3. We have finished Nectar of Instruction as well as Ishopanishad. So, now we are going to start Nectar of Devotion. Okay. So, before we start, let's start with Mangalacharan. After that, we'll start. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साधवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च मां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे Okay. So let's start with nectar of instruction. So this is and so the second line you can see here it is written Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. So Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is written by Srila Rupa Goswami in Sanskrit language, and Srila Prabhupada is giving English transliteration of that book only. Okay, so this book Nectar of Devotion is based on a book called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, so which is written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Here also you can see this picture where Prabhupada is sitting. Prabhupada, before going to West, he stayed for some time in Vrindavan in Radha Damodar temple, and in Radha Damodar temple, from the temple authority, he was given a room. On this room only, he will be sitting and he will be doing the translations and he will be giving the purpose, and he can see from that room one window is there. You can see one window is there here, one window is drawn, and from that window he can see the samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami. So Srila Rupa Goswami samadhi is also in that. If you go to that temple of Radha Damodar temple, there it is actually, this temple is very important for Gaudiya Vaishnava. Okay, many important Gaudiya Vaishnava samadhis are there, and three important deities are there. So very important temple. If you go anytime to Vrindavan, okay, try to visit Radha Damodar temple, and you can see Prabhupada's room also. They have still kept the room which was used by Srila Prabhupada. It was written Srila Prabhupada's room, and you can see from that room one window is there, and just outside the window, Srila Rupa Goswami Samadhi is there. So he used to get inspiration from Srila Rupa Goswami, because he has dedicated this movement of Krishna consciousness to Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay, though he has started the movement, he has went to the West. He has given um uh, all the routines what need to be done. He has trained the initial disciples. Okay, so many things he has done, and he has started the movements. He is the founder acharya of our movement, our ISKCON. But still, if you go through the book also, he has written that this movement is under the guidance of Srila Rupa Goswami. He dedicates this movement to Srila Rupa Goswami. He doesn't take credit on himself, though he has done all the things. We know his contribution to ISKCON, we know his contribution to our life, but he doesn't take credit. He gives all the credit to Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay, and he says that this movement is under the guidance of Srila Rupa Goswami, and we are Rupanuga. We follow the path and footprints of Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay, so this is the book called Nectar of Instruction, and we are going to understand something about this book. Okay. So this book deals with the science of devotion. Okay, the different science of devotion. What are the types of devotion? What are the types of mellows? The different things will be seeing in Nectar of Devotion. How to do the bhakti. Okay, the rules and regulations we have seen earlier. Nectar of Instruction, where instructions were given, but this book Nectar of Devotion is very important, where it is dealt. The science is dealt. Okay, science of devotion is dealt. So before starting, we pray to the deities of ISKCON Bangalore. Okay. We pray to Radha Govinda ji, and we beg for his mercy so that we can little bit whatever Srila Rupa Goswami has written, we can understand and we can implement those things as it is in our life. Okay. So this is the preface. So in this preface, it is started with the history. Okay. So what happened to Rupa Goswami? That history is written. So we'll see that history first, and then we'll move next one. So we start with the history. The author, Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay. So this was the time the history starts. It was the time of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. It was like 500 years ago. The exact uh, date of birth of Srila Rupa Goswami is mentioned here, 1489. And Srila Rupa Goswami, his name, he and his brother was there. So you know the Srila Rupa Goswami is there, and his brother is Sanatan Goswami is there. So both were Sanatan Goswami's elder brother, and Rupa Goswami is younger brother. Okay, so both brothers were there, and they were born in Saraswat Brahmana family, very elevated and very famous Brahmana family in West Bengal side. Earlier, their name was, I think, Santosh and Amar. Okay? Amar and Santosh was the name earlier. And they were very learned Brahmana. They were very learned in the Sanskrit. They were very learned in Arabic language and Persian language. These languages also very learned, very intellectual persons. Okay. So they were from a Brahmana family, and they have nothing to do with the at the time Muslim rule was there. Okay, so Muslim rule was there, and accidentally they met Nawab Hussain Shah. Okay, Nawab Hussain Shah accidentally met. Okay, and Nawab Hussain Shah understood that these two brothers are very intelligent, very learned. Okay, and our kingdom needs such persons only who can so our kingdom is full of the people who are not that much intelligent, so I need these kind of people who can, so that I can run my kingdom. Okay, so he called for them and asked them to become their chief, to take chief position in their kingdom. Okay, in their kingdom, but they were from the Brahma family, and they do not want to work under they did not want to work under the Muslim rulers. Okay, they did not want. Okay, so they did not want to work under the Muslim rulers, but Muslim ruler, he forced them to work. forced them, if you do not work, I will um, I will kill many Brahmana. Okay, I'll destroy the temples. Okay, so he threatened both of the brother that you should join our kingdom, otherwise it will be very bad. Okay, so both of the brother, they were forced to join. So lastly they joined the Nawab Hussain, because he was very cruel. The Nawab Hussain Shah was very cruel, and they were when he was saying that he will kill and he will destroy the temple, he would have done. Okay, so both of the brother, they agreed to work under the Nawab Hussain Shah, and they were given the very prestigious positions. You can see here, Srila Rupa Goswami was made chief secretary of one state. Okay, so chief secretary. So he was in a very elevated state, or a very elevated position. Both of the brother. Okay, one was finance minister, one was chief secretary. Like one was chief minister, one was finance minister, like that. Okay, but they were not happy. Why they were not happy? Because they were very pure. Both of the brother were very pure, very like uncontaminated. But now they are in a sangha of all the Muslim rulers, and they are in a very high position, and all the Muslim workers, or the the office bearers, you can say the office bearer, or the people who are working. So they are in constant association with the Muslims now, and Muslims, like, the tradition of Brahman and Muslim is completely different. Okay, and as per the Brahmana, they're the Muslims, they're not considered like very pure. Okay, so like that. So, but these two brothers, now their name has changed. Their name is like Sakir Malik and Dabir Khash. Okay, Dabir Khash is the Rupa Goswami's name, and Sakar Malik is the name of Sanatan Goswami. So both of the brother are in association of the Muslim rulers. Okay, so similar condition is ours. Okay, we want to do bhakti. Okay, we want to do the devotion. Our heart is also melting for devotion. Okay, but we are also in the grihastha life. We have to work. We have to go out. We have to deal with the materialistic people. Okay, and same condition was of the Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, but from the heart they were a pure Brahmana. Okay, pure devotee of the Lord. Okay, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they were outside. How, so imagine how they used to manage. Okay, so they were in very distressed condition. Okay, because they wanted to leave this active these activity, these positions, but they were not able to leave. Okay, so from the inside they were very much aggrieved, they were in very much distressed position. Okay, so like that. So one day, what happened, one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Ramkeli, one village in Malda in West Bengal. Okay, and somehow these two brothers came to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has came. Okay, and they could not resist to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, they were devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but now they are outcasted from the Brahmana family, and because they are in association of the Muslims who used to eat meat, and who used to break the regulative principles. Okay, the four regulative principles they used to break. So they, when they are working under the Muslim rulers, they were outcasted from the Brahmana family. Okay, they are not a Brahmana now, they are Muslims. Okay, so like that. So but from the inside they were devotee of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Lord came to Ramkeli, they were in very high position, so they cannot go in daylight. Okay, so in the night, what they did, they changed their dress. Okay, and they did the makeup so that no can understand them, no one can see them, no one can identify them. And in the night they went to Ramkeli to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, And when they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both of the brother, when they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were crying like anything. Okay. So they are crying their heart out and they were crying like what has what how their life has turned. Okay, they were a pure brahmana and they are pure devotee, and now they have come under the Muslim. They are working under the Muslim there, where there is no association of the devotee. Full, they are in association of the Muslim rulers and Muslim people. Okay, so they cried their heart out, and even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart got melted when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard their cry and their humility. Okay, so like that. So lastly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the instruction that you now go to the place where you are working. When the time will come, you will come to me. Okay, like that. So both of the brother with heavy heart, they returned back to the kingdom. Okay, but from that time they got initiated. Okay, from that time only they got initiated, and they got the name of Srila Rupa Goswami. The Dabir Khas got the Srila Rupa Goswami, and Sakar Malik got the name of Sanatan Goswami. Okay, they came back, but now they could not focus on their work. They have just one desire, to go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and serve him. They have just only one desire. They could not focus on their work. They cannot do any service to the state. Okay, so finally the Nawab agreed to relieve Srila Rupa Goswami, and Srila Rupa Goswami was left at that time. He left the Nawab Hussain Shah and went to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it is very nicely described in Chaitanya Charitamrita that they have wealth like anything. Okay, they are like Arabpati or more than Arabpati in today's world. Okay, they all the money which they have, if you convert into gold, it will be full one boat full of gold. Okay, one gold coin is how much costly, and they have the money which with which you can have the gold coin which can fill one boat, full boat. So that much wealth they were. So they were from very rich. They became very rich. Okay, but Srila Rupa Goswami was very minimally attached to the money and everything. Money, position. He left everything. The money he left, he position he left everything, and he went to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And whatever money he had, 50% money he donated for the service of the Vaishnava, for the service of the devotees, for the propagation of Krishna consciousness. Okay, 25% of whatever left is 50%. So out of that 50%, 50% means 25% he donated to all the relatives, and 25% he kept for his emergency needs and himself. Okay. So he left for the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now the second brother, Sanatan Goswami, also wanted to leave. Okay, and he tried to leave, but what happened that the Nawab Hussain Shah didn't want him to leave, so he caught him and put him into the jail. Okay, so that he cannot leave. Okay, so like that. Because both brother Nawab Hussain Shah don't want to uh, lose. Okay, so one brother he has already one brother has already left. The second brother was only there. So he kept he imprisoned Sanatan Goswami to the jail, and Sanatan Goswami somehow bribed with that money only, which was 25% of the money of the Sri Rupa Goswami. With that money only, he bribed the prisoner, and he freed from the prison, and he also go to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so like that story is there. And the second meeting, so you see here, first meeting with Lord Chaitanya was in the Ramkeli. Second meeting was in the Prayagraj. Prayagraj is the earlier name was Allahabad. Okay, Allahabad, and now the name again changed to Prayagraj. Okay. So there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Srila Rupa Goswami again, and he gave instruction for continuous for 10 days. Okay, so that instruction is called Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. One another book already there, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever instruction he has given to Srila Rupa Goswami, that book is compiled, and that book name is teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Okay, so that was the second meeting when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met in Prayagraj. Okay, and you can see his deities here. The deities which he used to worship, the deity's name is Govindaji. Original deities are in Jaipur, but the replica is also there in in uh, in Vrindavan. Okay. So some other works are also being mentioned. So like Updeshamrita. Updeshamrita is the book Nectar of Instruction, which Prabhupada has given the purports and all. So that book is also in the Sanskrit, was written by Sri Rupa Goswami only. And Vidag Madhava, Lalita Madhava, and Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. This Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is now, we are reading this book. Okay. And Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada at the Radha Damodar temple, we have seen the picture and we have seen how Rupa Goswami Samadhi was there, and Srila Prabhupada used to get inspiration from Srila Rupa Goswami by seeing the Samadhi so that he can feel the constant association of the Srila Rupa Goswami, constant touch with the Srila Rupa Goswami. So he was in constant touch. Okay. So this was some brief history how about the Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay. So you see here. So from that sixth Goswami, what Srila Rupa Goswami did, so he has received the instruction of Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. And after receiving the instruction, he, with the scientific evidences and all the Vedic literature, he presented that that teachings in a nice, presentable manner. Okay. So with the references from the Shastra, quoting from the Shastra, all the, as you know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given only 8 sloka, that is called Shiksha Ashtakam. And after that, he didn't give any literature. Okay. But he has given all the knowledge to Srila Rupa Goswami, and Srila Rupa Goswami has, with the reference from the Shastra and the reference from all the Vedic literature, profoundly describe that knowledge in his writings. Okay. And whatever teachings we are following today in ISKCON, that is under the teachings of the Srila Rupa Goswami. And that's why we are called Rupanuga. We are following the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami, which he has received from Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. So we have seen the history where 6 Goswami and how his connection to Krishna. The history of nectar of devotion, we are Rupanuga, we have understood, and Parampara comes to Chaitanya, from the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami to Srila Prabhupada. So we have seen how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the instruction to Srila Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami's teachings, how Srila Prabhupada has profoundly described in different literature, while he was in constant association with Srila Rupa Goswami in Radha Damodar temple. Okay. So this part we have finished. Now the second part, that is the purposes of nectar of instruction. What is the purpose of nectar of instruction? Okay. So you see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made these 2 brothers, the Bir Khas and Sakir Malik, as the Vaishnava, not the Vaishnava, they become Goswami. Okay. So he has transformed a person who is outcasted from the Brahmana family, a person who is outcasted, they are now the Muslims. So he has transformed the Muslims to a Goswami, okay, with that knowledge. Okay. So this knowledge can change a person who is in the lowest category of human being to a highest position of a Vaishnava, okay, or the Goswami. Okay. One more example, we have seen that Haridas Thakur was born in Muslim family, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made him Namacharya. Okay. Haridas Thakur, Namacharya. He became Namacharya, Acharya. So he became Acharya, Goswami. Okay. So this knowledge is meant to transform each of us to become a Goswami, to make each of us a Goswami. That is the purpose of nectar of instruction, a nectar of devotion, that to make each of us a Goswami. Goswami means who can control the senses and engage the senses fully in the service of Krishna, just like the Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur had did, just like all the 6 Goswami did. Okay, fully surrender to the service of Krishna. So that is the purpose of nectar of devotion. Next, to explain the Bhakti Rasa versus the material Rasa. Bhakti Rasa means there is also some enjoyment in the material world also. And that world, this worldly enjoyment is how it is different from the bhakti rasa. We'll see the when we go through the following the slides, we'll see the difference between the bhakti rasa and material rasa. And then we see the practical hint to live in the material world by devotional service. How we can nicely perform our devotional service while we are staying in this material world. So we'll see that also. That is the purpose of nectar of writing the nectar of devotion. Then stimulate original love in 5 different rasa. Okay, 5 different rasa. Total 12 rasas are being mentioned, but 5 only will see. Okay, so stimulate original love in 5 different rasa. Science of perfectly loving all living entity, not just one living entity, or not just our family, or not just our society, or not just our nation. Okay, not like that. In broad sense, loving all the living entity. How we can love all the entity? It seems impossible. But when we connect to Krishna, we water the root, and when we water the root, everything gets nourishment. Okay, so that way we can perfectly love all the living entity when we perfectly follow the science of Krishna consciousness. And lastly, nurture devotional life of practicing devotee. If you are devotee, you are practicing your devotional life, how to nurture that devotion so that you can progress to attain the love of Godhead, so that you can have the love of Godhead. That is the purpose of our life. That is the purpose of human form of life. That is the purpose of our coming to ISKCON. Our purpose of coming to ISKCON is not other than any other thing, just one thing. And that one thing is always remember Krishna and try to love him. Always remember Krishna and try to love him. That is the most important thing. That is the main rule. Try to remember Krishna always. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna and love him. Okay. So try to attain the love of Godhead. That is the purpose of any practicing devotee. So this nectar of devotion will help in that way. Okay. So we have seen this slide. So we'll go to the next slide. So this is the Pranam Mantra of Srila Rupa Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Manoabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam. So in Mangalacharan we used to recite this. Okay, Sri Chaitanya Manoabhishtam, whatever was there in the mana or the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Manoabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale, that was established in this Bhutala. Bhutala means this earthly planet. Sthapitam Yena Bhutale, that was established. So what is the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That desire is being established on the earth or in this world by Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay, so that's why it is written Sri Chaitanya Manoabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. When this Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam, when he will give us his lotus feet, the shelter of his lotus feet. Okay, so we are praying to Srila Rupa Goswami in our Mangalacharan. When will Srila Rupa Goswami, to establish the mission to fulfill the heart desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, give me shelter under his lotus feet, Swapadantikam. When he will give the shelter under his lotus feet. That is the pray we use, we do daily to Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay, we don't pray to make us very wealthy person. We don't pray this. We don't pray like that so that we become materially rich. We just want to pray so that we can get a shelter in the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, so that like the service, like the service he has done to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that his heartfelt desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is established in the earthly planet, in this earth. So when will the day will come when we'll get the shelter of Srila Rupa Goswami? Okay, so that pray we do to the Srila Rupa Goswami, and that should be the aim of our life, the aim of our devotional life, so that we can get the shelter of the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay. So 10 days Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Srila Rupa Goswami, and these things he taught: Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva. The truth about Lord Krishna, the truth about devotional service, and truth about transcendental mellow. Okay, so these things only we are going to learn when we are going through the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay. So how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is empowering, you see, by entering the heart of Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered him to ascertain properly the conclusion of all the truth. So he has given all the truth to the Sri Rupa Goswami. He made him an experienced devotee whose decisions correctly agreed with the verdict of the disciplic succession. Thus, Sri Rupa Goswami was personally empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Perfect example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. Yeah, the disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now a busy slides comes. So let's see these slides. Very nice slides. So try to understand with me. Okay. So, so the second one is the bhakti rasa versus the material rasa. See, the bhakti or the bhakti, if she, the bhakti means devotion. Okay. And when there is bhakti, there should be, when there is bhakti, bhakti means devotion, devotional love. Okay. It means the bhakti means devotional love. Love. Okay. So when there is love, there should be some indication of love. Okay. So when there is love, there is some indication, there will be some activity associated with the love. Like if a mother loves the child, okay, so she will be doing activity which is pleasing to the child. Okay. She will do the activity which is pleasing to the child. Okay, my child loves to eat this food, so I will make this food. Okay. So when there is love, there will be activity related to that love. Okay. That is called the service. That is called the devotional service. Okay. Devotional service. So here also in Krishna consciousness also, if you see there is bhakti or devotional love between a devotee and Krishna, then devotee does some service. Okay. Devotee does some service which indicates that he loves Krishna. He loves Krishna. Automatically that service will come. It is not that we have to force ourselves to do that service. Automatically that service comes. If a mother loves the child, okay, whatever child love, automatically that mother will be compelled to do. Okay. Okay. So some indication will be there that, so that service is called devotional service. When we do in devotion to Krishna, when we do anything which is pleasing to Krishna, that is called a devotional service. Anything which is pleasing to Krishna, that we do with the intention to please Krishna and the Guru Parampara, that is called the devotional service. Anything which we do for our pleasure, our sense gratification, or with the intention for our sense gratification. We may be doing some service outward. It may seem that we are doing the devotional service, but our intention is for the sense gratification. When there is the where when there is this type of intention of serving our senses, then that is not a devotional service. That is something like material service, something like that. When there is intention to serve Krishna, when there is intention to serve Srila Prabhupada, when there is intention to serve the Guru Parampara, when our intention is to serve the Guru, okay, then that service is called the devotional service. Okay. So that is called the devotional service. So when there is devotion, there should be devotional service, and that is called the devotional service. Okay. But the question comes, then why the service is there? Okay. If there is devotion, why the person does the devotional service? Or if there is material, why the person does the material service? Like people go to office, they serve. Okay. We we go to the office or we go to hospital, we serve. Why we go to hospital and office to serve? We are not becoming happy there. Okay, we are going to work there, then we are becoming happy. No, why we are going and serving there? Because in the return also we are getting something. When there is service, we get something in the return. So when a devotee does some service with intention to please Krishna, there is something in the return also he gets. Okay. And that return only keeps the person engaged in the service. Okay. Once a person taste that returns, then it will be very difficult for a person to forget that taste. Okay. So that thing is there. So there are two types of returns. Okay. When we are doing the material services in the office, in the hospitals, in our working place, we get something like money. Okay. We get the money or we get the salary. Okay. For that, we do that service, or somewhere other place also. If we are doing some service, we tend to get some return. Okay, so that return only is the impelling factor for which we do the service. Similarly, when we do the devotional service for the love of Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna, something return in return also we get. Okay, and that return is called the sukha, okay, or the rasa or the mellow. Okay, so that is called the rasa or the mellow or juice. So that rasa is also that. So now you understand that rasa is also two types. One is called the material rasa or the mundane rasa, and second is called the bhakti rasa or the rasa which we get in the spiritual life. Okay. So mundane rasa, why is mundane rasa is condemned here? Because that rasa is like chapala sukha. Chapala sukha means temporary happiness. Okay. So temporary happiness. If we have the happiness, tomorrow we'll have the distress. Happiness, distress. That is called bhoga tyaga nivritti. Sometimes bhoga is there, sometimes tyaga is there. Sometimes bhoga is there, sometimes tyaga is there. Okay. So that kind of material rasa is there. If a person goes to office, so he is doing the tyaga. Okay. And then after sometimes there will be Saturday, Sunday, there will be leave so that he can enjoy somewhere. So the whatever money he has earned, he will try to enjoy in those 2 days. Again, he will return to the work. Again, he will enjoy like that. Okay. So there is bhog and tyaga. Bhog is to enjoy and tyaga is to sacrifice. So bhog and tyaga, bhog, tyaga, nivritti is there. There won't be continuous mellows. Okay. The bhog, tyaga, nivritti will be there, and whatever happiness we get from the material or the mundane world, that happiness is like temporary happiness, chapala sukha, very short limited and very temporary. Okay, so that kind of happiness is there in the material world, but in the spiritual world the rasa is like eternal and fresh. Eternal fresh means that rasa doesn't goes gets old. Okay, that rasa doesn't leaves us. When even if we leave the body, that rasa is going to stay with us. Okay, like if a person start enjoying doing the devotion service, a person enjoy the chanting process, he keeps his eyes closed and he chants and he enjoy the chanting process. Okay, he enjoy the chanting, he enjoys the association with Krishna. Okay, so that rasa is eternal. That rasa is he that rasa is not going to leave him even if he leaves the body. Okay, he is going to continue with that rasa. So that's why this rasa, even if the person dies, that rasa doesn't leave this body. Okay, that rasa doesn't leave the person. That's why this type of rasa is called amrita. Okay, Amrit. Even a person dies, this rasa doesn't leave this body. That's why it is called Amrit. Okay. So Bhakti Rasa Amrit Sindhu. You see the word Bhakti Rasa Amrit. So Bhakti we have understood, the rasa we are understanding, and Amrit also we have understood, because this is eternal. This is not going to leave when we are leaving this body. Okay. So that's why this is called Amrit. Okay. And this is Sindhu. Sindhu means ocean of pleasure. Okay. So that rasa doesn't have any limit. Okay. If you start tasting the rasa in the chanting, okay, you will think that there must if we try to understand through our mundane uh, mind, okay, we may think that every pleasure has certain limit. Okay, every pleasure has certain limit in material world, and that pleasure only is the origin of the distress of a person in the material world. But in the spiritual rasa or the amrita or the bhakti rasa, that rasa doesn't have any limit. Okay, doesn't have any limit. It is ever expanding, and it is like a sindhu, the sagar, the ocean of pleasure. So everyone that wants to dive into the ocean of the nectar or amrit. Okay, so this book will help us in guiding our way to the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Okay. So this part we have understood, and the last part is the love part, or uh, the love part which uh, which a person does to the Lord Krishna. Okay, so that part only is explained, that person has different degree of love. Every person has the tendency of love. No one can stay without loving. Every person has the tendency. Even If you see the animals also, if you see a cow, the cow loves his calf. Okay. So cow also loves his calf. So animals also has the loving tendency. Even small animals, even you see, whatever animals you see, whatever, okay, they will try to love other animals. So loving tendencies they are in every animal, every animal, even the animal is very dangerous, very fearful. Okay. If you see a tiger, very dangerous. Okay. Dangerous animal. But even the tiger is very dangerous. He used to love his cub. Even the humans, they are very dangerous. Humans are also there. But even though they are very dangerous, they have the loving tendency and they will love their kids or someone else. Okay. So loving tendencies is there in everyone's heart. Okay. But the problem happen when we don't know whom to live, whom to love. Okay. Like a person loves his family. Okay. So, or some other person may love extended family. Extended family means all the family relatives. Some other person may love his community. Some other person may love his state. Like I am from this state. Some other person may love the language that I am speaking this language. Okay, I will love the Hindi people. I will love the Kannada people like that. Okay. Some people may try to love his country. Okay, nationalist. Okay. So like that, people try to find that where to dispose their love, whom to love, okay, so that they can return, they can get in return something, okay. But whatever love you are disposing to this world, you won't get that eternal happiness from this world. And when we don't get the return, then we try to get in distress. Okay. So like that. So we are not knowing how to dispose this love and whom to dispose this love. Okay. So that's why with this propensity of loving, okay, but we don't know whom to love, where to love. So this Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu will guide us whom to love and how to love. Okay. So it will guide us to get fulfillment when it is connected to Krishna. So this will help us to connect to Krishna so that we can direct our love to Krishna. And when we direct our love to Krishna, then everything will become happy or everyone will become happy. How? Because it is just like watering the root of the tree. Everyone is connected to Krishna, and when we water the tree, like the water, the root, okay, every branch, every twig, every leaves will get the nourishment. Okay. Second example is written here, one switch that brightens the all. If you see, if you go to the hotel one, they will give you one card. Okay. So if you go to hotel, they will give you card. Okay. So switches will be there inside the room. When we switch on the room, it won't happen. So you have to insert the card. When you insert the card, then room will automatically, all the switches will start working. Okay. So that thing is the master switch, like master switch, you can say. So that is Krishna. One switch and everything is brightened. Okay. So like that. So that is like the one switch, because everyone is connected to Krishna. When we serve Krishna, everything becomes happy. And that is the perfect way, or that is the aim to direct our love. Okay. So how much time is there? 10 minutes are there. So we'll just follow how, let's see how much we can complete. Otherwise, we can see in the next class also. So these things we have dealt. The rasa is the force of pleasure that drive people to do service. Rasa is mellow coming from relationship. So these things we have already seen. The basic principle is that we have the general propensity to love someone. The missing point, however, is to where to repose our love so that everyone can become happy. And that point is Krishna. You see the deities, how nicely with flowers it is nicely dressed and nicely everything is very nicely arranged. Okay. When we go to the temple, we see how nicely the devotees have decorated Radha Madhav or the deities from the of the temple. Each details, if you see each details, if you see the flowers, you see how nicely, how beautifully, how with a devotional attitude the devotees has done the service, very meticulously and very perfectly done. Anything you see the mukut of Krishna nicely decorated, you see the tilak or whatever shringar the devotees has done in the hands, below the eyes, above the eyebrows. Okay. Everywhere you will see the perfection, how nicely devotees are doing. Okay, you see the garland of Radha Madhav, how nicely decorated. You see the flower which is there in the lotus foot of the leg, or lotus leg of Krishna. How nicely everything is perfectly kept, arranged. How nice devotees are doing the service. Okay, so when we go to the temple, we try to appreciate the beauty of Radha Madhav. Okay, and how nicely the devotees are decorating Radha Madhav. Okay, such a beautiful darshan we used to get. So very, it is like very nice. Not say more than that. Okay, so just to see each details very nicely decorated, and even each details, if you want to see, you will become happy. Okay, so that thing is there. Okay, that missing point is Krishna, and nectar of devotion teaches us how to stimulate our original love for Krishna and enjoy blissful life. So this nectar of devotion will guide us that how to guide our love to Krishna. Okay, how we can attach ourselves to Krishna, how we can properly progress in our devotional life. Okay, so that thing will be guided by nectar of devotion. So these things we have seen. So now we come to the introduction part. We start with the Mangalacharan, then content and definition of pure devotion service. So Mangalacharan is nothing but we are praying to, before starting of the nectar of devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami is praying to all the deities. He is praying to Radha Madhav. He is praying to all the Vaishnavas. He is praying to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All the parampara he's praying, and after that he's starting. Okay, so he's starting with the Lord Krishna because he is the possessor of supreme bliss. Okay, since he is the reservoir of all the rasas. Okay, so that's why he's praying, and he is paying obeisances to all the acharya, all the devotee in the ocean of nectar. Okay, these devotees are like shark in the big fishes in the sea of nectar of devotion. Okay, and it is written deep, dive dive deep. Okay, we don't have to stay superficial, we have to dive deep. We don't have to explore so many things in Krishna consciousness. We don't have to explore. Whatever we have to explore has been already been given. We have to chant, we have to follow four regulative principles, we have to chant 16 rounds. That has been given to us. We don't have to explore this also, that also, this also, that also, this also, that also. There is no need to explore so many things. Okay, whatever things are required for our Krishna consciousness has already been given. We don't have to explore too much in the superficial layer. We don't have to be in the superficial layer. We have to deep dive. We have to chant. We have to chant with deep devotion. We have to chant with deep faith. We have to develop our faith in the chanting. Don't chant superficially. Don't chant one or two round, three, four round like this. Chant at least 16 round and try to find the taste in the chanting. Gradually the taste will develop, but the taste will develop then and when only we are trying to dive deeply. Okay, don't have to see, we have to search those so many things and keep ourselves superficial. We don't have to progress horizontally, we have to progress deep. We have to progress like vertically. Okay, we don't have to make so many devotees, but whatever devotees are in our contact, our whatever is there, they should follow the Krishna consciousness deeply. They should become deep. They should follow the Krishna consciousness deeply. They should not remain superficial. And whoever is following, who is very attending the classes, try to remain, try not to remain in the superficial layer. Try to deeply dive. Okay, follow the four regulative principles and keep chanting. These are the main things. Main things. Okay, other things are supplementary. So we have to focus in these things and we have to deeply dive in these things. Okay, so who is going to guide in those things? The nectar of devotion is going to guide under those things. Okay, so we have to deep dive. Those who deep dive remain undisturbed. Like if you see the water on the surface of the ocean or the river, it is very much disturbed. Okay, but the water which is deep, or the creatures which are deep, like the fishes which are in deep. Okay, nothing is going to disturb them. Okay, the fishes who are in the superficial, layer, so they are going to be disturbed by the other things. Okay, anything which is happening above the surface, they will get disturbed. Okay, they will get disturbed. But the persons who will deeply dive into the ocean, they won't get disturbed. So now only we have seen so many controversial things are happening, like rhythmic philosophies and all those things we are seeing. Okay, so these things will disturb when we are in very superficial layer, very superficial layer. When we deeply dive, we understand what is there in the philosophy and how to follow that philosophy. Okay, so everyone should not remain in the superficial layer. Try to follow those things which is given to you very nicely, and try to deep dive deeply. Okay, so that intention is required. That intention, when the intention will come, half of the work will be done. After the half work will be the activity. Okay, but the half work is the intention, the 50% work is the intention. We should have the intention to dive deeply. We should have the intention to learn Krishna consciousness properly with faith and proper execution of Krishna consciousness, proper execution of devotion. Okay, the faith should be there, the the intention should be there to follow the principles very perfectly. Okay, then only it will come. The half of the work is the intention only. Half of the work is the intention. So the intention should be there, and then execution will be there. Okay, so that thing is there. So the last part of preface is definition of pure devotional service, and this is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Srila Rupa Goswami has taken this verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where it is written, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Gyan Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishnanusilanam Bhakti Ruttama. Okay. So with this sloka only we'll end. So let's discuss this sloka, and today we'll end with this sloka only. Next class we'll start the next. Okay. So it starts with Anya Bhilashita Shunyam. Anya Bhilashita Shunyam. Shunyam means zero. Abhilasha means desire. Anya. There should be no Abhilasha. Anya Bhilashita Shunyam. Anya Abhilasha. Any other Abhilasha should be zero. There should be no material desire. There should be no material intention. All the intention should be to attain pure love of Krishna, pure love of Godhead. Okay. To attain the mercy of Krishna, to attain the love of Krishna, that should be the only desire. Anya Bilashita Sunyam. There should be no other desire, no material desire, no material tinge. Even the material tinge of desire should be there of materialism. Anya Bilashita Sunyam. No material desire. So whatever things we are at current or present age or present condition, okay, we may compare ourselves with this pure devotional service. We are not even a tinge of pure devotional service. We don't have even a tinge of pure devotional service, because we are always 24/7 filled with material desire. Even if we do the services, the devotional services, we had some material desire. Okay, so that desire should not be there. Anya Bhilashita Shunyam. There should not be any material tinge, any material tinge. Then that person is perfect person to receive mercy of Krishna. Okay. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada describes in chapter number, I think, 3.15 or the last slokas of this, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada describes that a person is nothing if he has not received the mercy of Krishna. Okay. Or a person progress in devotional life, a person gets the devotional life, progress in the devotional life due to mercy of Krishna only, or Guru only. Only the mercy of Guru and Krishna, due to which the person progress in the devotional life or enters into the devotional life. Okay. Without mercy, he cannot have that devotional life. Okay. And if a person wants to get the mercy of Krishna, then he should not have any material tinge of desire. He should only have the intention to do the devotional service. That should be there. Then that person is the perfect candidate to attain the mercy of Krishna. Okay. So Anya Bilashita Sunyam, there should not be any desire. That is the prerequisite to get the mercy of Krishna. No material desire, no material tinge, only one desire. to attain love of Krishna. Only love of Krishna. Because that is the only Amrit part. That is the only nectar. Okay. You see, so Srila Rupa Goswami was having so much money, even 10 times or 50 times than the money we have. And whatever money we have, with that only we are puffed up. Whatever qualification we have, with that only we are puffed up. Srila Rupa Goswami was very much intelligent, and whatever intelligence we have, he was very much intelligent than ours. But we are so much puffed up with whatever intelligence, whatever money, whatever position we have. He was chief minister of one state. He left everything and he was in very unrest. He left everything and joined Krishna consciousness. He joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He left everything. He became a beggar. Okay. So it means that these things with which we are so much puffed up doesn't have any meaning when we are in spiritual life or when we are searching for our real purpose of life. Anya Bilashita Sunyam. So actually the material life doesn't have any meaning. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. That is what Srila Rupa Goswami is saying and showing with his example. We have seen his example. No material desire except for the service of Krishna. He left everything which he had, more than ours. Okay, more than ours. Way, 10 times more than ours he had. And he left everything. Position, as well as money, as well as intelligence, everything. Okay, but he left everything for the service of Krishna. That is called the proper intelligence. We don't know when that intelligence will come to me, or our intelligence will align with the intelligence of the Rupa Goswami. We should pray to Krishna daily when we get up, when we go to the temple. We should pray to Krishna daily, that when that our intention will align with the intention of Rupa Goswami. Okay. When will our intention will be there to serve only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nothing else. Okay. So we should pray in that way, and we should pray for the mercy so that we can also progress in devotional life. Okay. So Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Janma Karma Adi Anavritam. Anavritam means to cover. Okay. And Jnana. Okay. This is Jnana. So it should not be covered with some Jnana philosophy or Karmavadi philosophy. Should not be covered that do these things and you get, or you read the Shastra and you become a Pandit and you get the Ashtasiddhi, like that. Adi means all other things which we deal with, like Mayavadi or this, that. Okay. So it should not be covered. It should be free of everything. Just only one desire to serve Krishna. That is called the pure devotional service. Anya Bhilashita Sunya. No other desire. No other desire. No only any karmi desire. No any jnani desire. No any becoming, merging with Krishna, merging with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No any desire. Just one desire to serve Krishna. Anukulena Krishnanusilanam. Anukul means favorable. Okay. Krishna Anusilanam. Whatever things are favorable for me to serve Krishna, okay, we should immediately accept those things. Okay. So that is called the pure devotional service. The person who wants to do the pure devotional service, he should accept anything which is favorable for his Krishna consciousness and reject those things which is not favorable for his Krishna consciousness. Immediately accept those things which is favorable for Krishna consciousness. Whatever the instruction Prabhupada has given, whatever instruction, all four regulative principle, immediately accept. Don't give the this much this that this reason and that reason, that I have this reason and that reason. That is not good for our devotional life. Immediately we should accept what is good for our Krishna consciousness, what is favorable for our Krishna consciousness. We should immediately accept. That is the characteristic of pure devotional service. Immediately accept those things which is favorable for Krishna consciousness and reject those things which is not favorable for our Krishna consciousness. Okay. So that is called Bhaktir Uttama. That is called the Uttama Adhikari, or that is called the perfect devotional service, and that is called pure devotional service. In the nutshell, if you want to say what is pure devotional service, anything which is free from all material desire. A person who is free from all material desire, only one desire to serve Krishna wholeheartedly, that person is called pure devotee. That is called the pure devotional service. Okay. So with this, I think this ends our chapter. Okay. So with this, we end our chapter and just we see the division. Okay. So 4 divisions are there of the contents of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Purva Vibhag, Dakshin Vibhag, Paschim Vibhag, and Uttar Vibhag. The 4 directions: east, south, west, and east. Okay. We are going to restrict ourselves in this level or whatever level in the first part only, that is Purva Vibhag. Okay, where we will be seeing about the Bhagavad Bhakti Bheda or till chapter number 9, introduction to chapter number 9. Others are not, we are not like qualified to understand or understand these things. For the knowledge purpose, you may read these things because these are in the book, but it is way above our level of understanding. So we'll be restricting ourselves to the first part in the from the introduction to chapter number 19. In the second part, we are going to see like Samanya Bhagavad Bhakti Rasa, where general symptoms of transcendental mellow. Transcendental mellow, general symptoms. So we don't understand the transcendental mellow. How we are going to understand the symptoms of transcendental mellow? So it is very difficult to understand through our material senses all these symptoms of transcendental mellow. So you can see what is the level of Srila Rupa Goswami, how he has written, how deeply he has the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has written the general symptoms of transcendental mellow. Then we are seeing Mukhya Bhakti Rasa, the main Bhakti Rasa, primary loving relationship with Krishna. Okay, and the lastly, with indirect loving relationship with Krishna, how we can develop the indirect loving relationship with Krishna. So all these things are there in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but we are going to restrict ourselves because even this 19th chapter, if we read and follow, then it will be very much too much for us. We won't be able to do all these other parts of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So we should be focusing ourselves in till from the introduction to chapter number 19. With this, we end our introduction part. So from the next class, we'll be reading chapter number 1. Okay. So with this, we end the slides here. So now, if we have any question, if we have any comments, anything you can share. Yes. Okay, so no comment, no question. I hope you have marked the attendance. So with this, we'll end our session. Okay. We'll meet next week. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Bhavecha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.